This video, we're going to take a quick look at USC against LSU in week 1. And the very first thing we're going to take a look at is goal line stop that was early in the game. Of course, it's 0-0. They kept with some really big plays right here. Very first one, LSU just throwing a fade right here down to the bottom. And look at that. It's an unbelievable play here by one of the better receivers in the country. This guy's actually a dog. But just a little bit of a push right here by the DB. So it's just a little bit of late effort. Gets him just out of bounds. So this is a heck of a play here. Just a little bit of a push. Gets him out of bounds by about 6 inches. So really great play. This is on a second down. Just that little bit of a push is what makes the difference there. Keeps him from having a touchdown there early in the game on this drive. Next play right here, and they get a rub by LSU. This obviously is man-to-man. These guys right here pressed. They're getting a rub right there, trying to get a completion. I think no, they're going to go for it on 4th down. And right there, they do have space. Good rub there. He's trying to fight through it. This linebacker is the guy that makes the play. So they don't blitz everybody right here. They drop some into coverage while they're playing man-to-man. Corner actually falls down right here. So that is an issue. But right there, linebacker flies over, gets him on the ground. Everybody's rallying. That was a huge difference to this game. These guys are playing with a lot of effort there on the defensive side. Get him on the ground at the 3-yard line. Really big play. Gets him to a 4th down. Biggest thing right there, make them snap the ball again. I think that's what both defenses were doing, but especially USC. Don't give up the big play. Get him on the ground. Make him snap the ball again and see what happens. 4th down right here, and they get a guy free right up the middle. So right here, not just the intricate blitz going right there. It looks like the offensive line setting there. Surely should be setting here to this linebacker. Leave the running back there with the dual read. But they get a guy free right up the middle, and Nussmeier gets off his spot as soon as he catches it. He gets off. Looks like they're running a fade. Probably going to try to throw that thing just on time. But he has to get off his spot, known as 4th down. So he's got to get this ball out. And he just throws like a no-look back shoulder fade. This is an unbelievable throw and just attempt right here. So spins out. Now he's getting pressure right here. He has to get the ball out, knowing that it's 4th down. I think he's lucky this isn't an interception because I don't think he even looks. I think he just rips his eyes around and throws it without even seeing what's over there to the backside. I'd say it's lucky that wasn't an interception or something. But huge play right there by USC. A really big sequence of events. Keeps LSU from scoring there early in the game. Right here at the beginning of the video, we're just going to take a look at some defensive stops, which is something that USC hadn't had just a ton of in the years previous. So right here, this is a rub. Again, getting a rub there, just very similar to the route before. Just this time they're going out as opposed to in, trying to rub man-to-man. And right here, safety drives down. This is on a 3rd down and 6. They drive down to 1-yard completion. They're expecting this guy to break a tackle, but flies down there and gets him on the ground for like 1-yard gain. So this is a huge play. Great aggression right there. If he doesn't make this tackle, I think he is able to get this 1st down. So if he breaks that arm tackle, he's gone. But really good play there by the safety. That's a good football play. That's a play to me that USC's defense hadn't made in the past. Getting down there, making a one-on-one tackle, and getting a guy on the ground. Another look here, very similar thing here on a 3rd and 10. And LSU just running mesh. Again, thinking that they're playing man-to-man, but it ends up being zone here by USC. So they throw it underneath, just getting a completion. Again, hey, hoping if I get a completion underneath, we'll make somebody miss. We'll get up to the 1st down. But right here, boom. As soon as that's caught, it's getting hit, and you see just these guys rallying to the football, running to the football. So this is a great look for USC's defense, just run to the football, playing fast. Guys playing with confidence and playing with a little swagger. Right here, 14, playing a little swagger. Something that you hadn't seen from USC's defense in the years past. That's a really good encouraging sign. Hey, those guys run to the football, getting guys on the ground, making stops on 3rd down, even 3rd and long. You'd think that'd be something that'd be very easy. But in the past has been one of those things that USC has allowed people to keep drives alive, and of course that leads to points. Their look here again, 3rd down, big stop by the defense. Everybody's scraping inside, being aggressive, trying to make a stop right here on 3rd and 1, and they're getting some penetration. So this is again great stop, wrong shoulder, and get in there, stop that guy's momentum as fast as possible. Don't let him get to the line of scrimmage before he's getting hit. Gets hit 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. Everybody's just flying in there. Again, it might be one of those things where later on they give up a big play as far as a one-on-one or something, but being aggressive, trying to make stops, not just allowing, conceding a 3rd and 1, and fighting through contact right there, getting a guy on the ground for a negative yardage play on a 3rd and 1. Huge stop, huge defensive effort by USC, and being able to do that against a really good offense of LSU, and finding a way to get a big win against the SEC team is huge for USC as they go through that season, and the defense was a huge part of it, which is something we haven't been able to say a whole lot in a couple of years with Lincoln Riley there. Now just going to take a look at Miller Moss, see how he did, and some of the better throws he had. Obviously, he played well, threw for about 380, and looked like he was in control of everything. Of course, an older guy that's been around him for a while, so pretty evident that he's going to be a really good quarterback this year. And the very first thing we're looking at here is just kind of an interesting look. They motion across. They're going right at the mic, and they're going to fade. Hard play action downhill with a puller. And what ends up happening is basically a back shoulder fade on a linebacker. So linebacker has his back turned trying to guard this guy. Got a bigger body guy here, and he just throws it to the back shoulder right to him and allows him to open his hips, make a play. So that looks a lot like something you'd throw out here to an outside receiver. But right here, one-on-one with a Mike, and throwing a back shoulder to a tight end. I thought that was a really interesting play and really interesting look that they were able to do that. I mean, it's not a very far throw either. So great accuracy. Pretty easy throw there by Miller Moss, but a great design as well. Next one, just running a slot fade here. One high low. You see these guys playing off man. You got a guy right in the middle of the field. Miller Moss, he knows, hey, he's cover one. He takes his eyes right to the slot fade, knowing what his matchup is going to be. He's right there, running straight at him, trying to step on his toes, and then he just outruns that guy down the sideline. Great accurate ball right here. Puts it right on, lets him fade away from this defender. That's a ton of space right there if you're just playing against your brother in the backyard. But right there against LSU, that's a ton of space for a receiver to have against a DB. They just drop it right in there. Would love to stay in bounds and score right here. But, again, explosive play, about a 30-yard gain. Great throw and catch there on a slot fade against cover one. Really like this play right here by Miller Moss. And really reason being, it looks like they're running verticals. And this guy's working across kind of in the intermediate window at about 10, 12 yards. And just the patience of Miller Moss. Just look at him in the pocket right here. He has a good feel for it. He knows that he's got good pro. 6-man protection right here. You got a fullback that stays in. And you got 5 O-linemen right there. So really good protection. Got all day. He's working his eyes from the right here to begin with to the left. And now he gets back to it. I mean, just the patience. He's just bouncing around, keeping his feet hot, and then just drills it. Accurate football again. Bigger target there at receiver. Would love to put this thing on his body and not make him extend and stretch forward. But good play there by the receiver, trusting the quarterback. He's not going to lead him into a safety. But just the accuracy and just the awareness and patience in the pocket is a really good football play there by Miller Moss. Here's a play that's a really good design. We're going to across. He goes to the flats, and they're faking the inside zone right here. And this is one of their favorite plays. They run this a ton, especially last year, and all they're doing is faking like they're blocking here, and then he just slips to the seam. So really just getting a high low on those backers, and it's a fake, and then they're sprinting out or rolling here to that side because a lot of times they're throwing this flat, and they've done that in the years past, but now they're just going to slip it and go vertical with that fullback. Puts it right in the seam. You see how aggressive these linebackers are to get down on that flat route. So that opens it up just behind him in the seam. Huge call. Again, explosive play right there. This is when they're down by 4 in the fourth quarter. Start to drive off right. This is on 2nd and 11. You got to get the sticks moving right here and at least change the field position. But right here, easy completion, explosive play, faking that screen, letting their tight end go up the seam. Here's a look of just getting a little bit of pressure. And the USC does a lot of stuff where they're pulling guards as far as their protection, and it kind of gets them in trouble right here. You got a D end or a linebacker right there running right through the gap, getting into the quarterback's face and hitting his arm as he's trying to throw it. So this could be a bad play, but right here, Miller Moss, he feels it. He knows where he's going with the football, and he gets it out. So right here, you can see just how good of a play this is. The guy right in his face, getting his arm hit as he's throwing it, and he's just throwing basically a seam to this outside receiver that beat that corner inside. You got to fit it in between the safety and the corner while the guy's right in your face. Great throw. And then right here, receiver extending, trusting the quarterback and making a play. Great football play right here by both players. But Miller Moss standing there, just getting the ball out. You know, for how good Caleb Williams is, this was a play last year that they'd probably see him try to run around and try to make something happen. But Miller Moss just standing in there at the last second, getting it out, letting this guy make a play for him. Look, you're able to get LSU to jump off sides, and that's huge because now once you get them to jump off sides, you get a free shot, and they decide to take a shot outside to number 8, and great throw and catch. It's one of those things, you know, you got outside leverage. All right, these DBs are trying to make you throw this long throw, and hopefully they can make a play on it. But right there, you know, maybe it's a push-off. Some people say it is, but if it doesn't get called, I would say it's probably not a push-off. But either way, wide receiver adjusting, great ball to the outside. He's just got to lean on him and then adjust late with late hands, not letting him split the hands. So this is a really good throw and catch. Great finish there for a touchdown for USC to go up right there in the fourth quarter, under 6 minutes. And right here, love it, throwing up the west side. Who doesn't love receivers from USC throwing up west side at everybody in the stands in Las Vegas? I mean, it's a great scene right here. Everybody knows Tupac would be proud, looking down, smiling. You know he's got to be a USC fan. Now just looking at a couple plays from this very last drive, and of course, right here, under 2 minutes, trying to make something happen, get down there and at least get a field goal, and they're in trips, good protection, and they're just throwing a stop basically on time. And you see just the timing of this, just a jab with the left foot, comes to balance, and once his hips go down, he's getting it out. Not a lot of space. You can see that DB is pretty tight coverage, put this thing on the back shoulder, let him get a completion, get out of bounds, up close to the first down. This is on 1st and 10, so you always want to get up there close to the first down and also get out of bounds. So this is a really accurate football Good throw and catch, allowing him to get out of bounds and get up close to the first down. Great football play there by both players. Now getting to the play that a lot of people are talking about. Basically 4 verticals. Easy to check down, seam, outside go. You got seam, outside go. So you got press corner. Safety's the guy you're reading. He's either got to stay on the hash down the seam, which he's pretty wide. So right here, might be thinking about going to the seam. You can see right here the seam does have a ball, but there is a defender here. So I might throw the seam if I was talking with him, but they throw the whole shot to the outside. And 10 makes a great play. Just basically sticks a hand out there trying to make a stab at it, pulls it in, and then this guy rolls over and absolutely mollywops him. But great job hanging on by 10, and they get targeting on this. So another 15 yards, probably half the distance to the goal on this one, but great play. Also one of those things, they had 2 receivers right there, 2-on-1 on this safety. Could possibly throw this seam. The seam might have a lot more space even than this outside go ball that they end up throwing, and the guy gets laid out. But again, big play, great execution there by 10, great catch. Miller Moss giving him a chance, and they get lucky as well with that targeting call. Now I'm going to take a quick look at the run game from SC. Not just a lot going on. They had under 80 yards rushing, and Woody Marks, transfer from Mississippi State, was really the guy in the backfield. Really good day, even though they didn't have just a ton of yards. He did have some big plays, and right here, the very first thing you're looking at is just running counter against this defense. And LSU here, looks like the forefront, they have stand-up in right here, which is fine. You can get him to the C-gap, so hopefully you're washing that down. Double that to the backside, blocking back here, pull the kick, pull the lead, gap hinge. That'd be the perfect world. Getting downhill, you're running right through that C or D gap, depending on how that looks. But right here, get the pull. There's the kick by the fullback. There's the kick by the guard. Running back getting right there behind him. They already got up to that linebacker. He's probably going to be an unblocked guy. Again, red zone goal line. You know there's going to be an unblocked guy. You got to find a way to get in. And right there, puts his foot in the ground. Woody Marks, great job getting vertical. I mean, look at where he runs. I mean, he runs right through the hash. The ball's on the hash, runs right down the hash. Playing with momentum, falls into the end zone. The first touchdown for USC. Right here are some really interesting calls on a 2-minute drive. They run counter basically twice and get 2 gashes. Right here, 5-man box, 20 personnel, so you get a kick lead on the only linebacker in the box, and they're rolling. Get a pretty good play here. Get down to about the 20. Had to burn the last timeout that they've got. Get down here to the 20. They only got 1 timeout left. So kind of an interesting call, calling a couple counter plays down here. After this run, going to have to call a timeout, try to get a field goal. End up missing it, but thought it was a pretty interesting call. Get an explosive run, get about 15 yards, and give the kicker a pretty good chance to make a play for you right there. Another look at counter, exact same thing. This time the box is much heavier, right? So this is not a 2-minute drill, but this is in the 4th quarter, 6.5 minutes left. There's your kick, there's your lead. Beautiful look again. There's double team to the back, number 2 linebacker in the box. Kick, lead. They're getting absolute gashes on these counters, and I mean, pretty good play. I mean, again, for how many explosive plays they have in the run, it's pretty amazing that they only had about 72 yards, but they did have some explosive plays in the run, which is kind of mind-boggling that they didn't have more yardage than that. I know they didn't try just a ton. When you look at stats right here for rushing, they only averaged 3.3. Woody Marks had 68 yards. He had 16 carries, so 4.3. Not just great, but they did have explosive plays. They just had a lot of plays where they got 0 negative yards. They got to do a lot better job with that when it comes to just being consistent on the ground. We're here running inside zone. You know, their favorite play. Obviously, they're a big counter team as well, but right here, inside zone. This is with 13 seconds left in the game. I don't know if LSU is trying to let them score or if it's just one of those things they just gash them right here because they're a little bit tired. But right here, DN trying to get upfield, make a play, so he's out of his gap. And just a base block here on 4. He jumps to the outside gap. 72 is still fighting. He gets a little bit over his toes, so he falls down. But running back makes a great cut right there, and then just playing with speed. Again, Woody Marks falling forward, getting to the end zone. Great football play. I mean, it's one of those things, I don't know if they're trying to let him score. It doesn't look like they are, but that dude's playing with some momentum. Finish this game, get into the end zone. Make sure you score a touchdown. Don't leave it in the kicker's hands. I thought that was a really good play, really good omen that they just got down there and they just ended up finishing in the end zone on just straight inside zone. Really, last thing we're going to look at right here, just a couple of good designs right here by Lincoln Riley. And right here, you're in a bunch set, really. I know there's a couple guys with their hand on the ground, but right there, he's just running a corner. He's running there, and you got a flat route here by the outside receiver. So really just a snag, just switching up who typically runs it. And right there, the guy behind, he just curls it up about 2 or 3. This on 2nd and 1. No easier completions are going to be had against any defense. They run that guy off, settle right where he left. Easy completion to a tight end. Gets about 10 yards right there. Stretch the defense with a bubble, corner. You got the sit. It'd be 1, 2 to the corner. 3 could be your check down late there. But got the guy that they wanted wide open. That second tight end just curling it up. Next play right here was like a misdirection screen. So you got Zachariah Branch, one of the better players on the field, coming across. Fake to him, pretend to fake, and then you're going to fake like you're trying to roll out here with a flat route. And you get your eyes there as well for a while. Half sprint that way. Now you set your feet. You got these guys leaking out. You got the entire line leaking out. Zachariah Branch here to the left side. And right there on that, running across. Take these guys with the running back as well, and a half roll. Throw it back to your guy. Those linemen that were working that way, now they just leak out. Let these D linemen rush. And now you got Zachariah Branch, one of the better players in the nation, out there with the entire line in front of him. And he just scampers around, gets out of bounds. You got to keep this guy healthy all year, so that's a great decision. Get as much as you can. Don't be a hero. You're not going to take on everybody out there. You're a little bit smaller guy, so make sure you get all you can. Get out of bounds, get down, protect yourself. It's a long season. Make sure we got you for the long haul. But anyway, I thought it was a really good night for USC. Being able to beat an SEC team. Obviously, it's not a finished product. They got to be better in the run game. Defense is looking a lot better, so that is encouraging. And I think the USC is going to have a lot better year than a lot of people are giving them credit for. I know it's going to be a tougher schedule than they've had in the past. That Big Ten schedule is no joke. But right there, you can see the physicality. If you can beat an SEC team, beat LSU, feel good about your chances to compete with most teams in the Big Ten. Now, are they world beaters? Are they going to compete for the championship in the Big Ten? Maybe, maybe not. But I think they are going to be right there on the cusp of a playoff spot. And if everything falls right, they may get in. But that's a really encouraging game against the talented SEC team in LSU. Now, how good LSU is, I don't know. I mean, their defense looked a lot better than it was last year as well. Their offense is going to be pretty solid. But really excited for the season. Glad that USC was able to get that win to start off the season. But make sure you subscribe so you can see everything we're doing for the rest of the year. But I really appreciate you guys watching. And we'll see you guys again in the next video.